Welcome to
Monday with the Mavens.
You guys, we have so much goodness to tackle today. We are talking about fat. We're talking about muscle. We're talking about our process. We are talking about specific foods. We are talking about online calculators. We are talking about alcohol. We are talking about,
well,
a lot.
We think that we're going to talk about all these things. We're going to do draw from the hat. There's a bunch of questions that have been sent in over time, or that clients have asked us over and over again. And so we are going to pull questions out of the hat, answer your burning hot
topic questions. And honestly, if you have questions and you're on here live, please put them below. We will pay attention. We would love your interaction. We know the large majority of people watch these after the fact, but when you're on here and you let us know that you are here, we love it.
Ask us anything, you guys. We are open books, and well, I think we are open books.
We are open books.
Yeah.
Nothing's off limit. Maybe that's a challenge. Doesn't even have to be macro related. I think you guys should ask her some really personal questions.
Hey, I'm mostly an open book. I'm not going to claim to be 100% open book, but I'm pretty open.
She is. She's
Let
got
me
nothing
know.
to hide.
What are your burning questions?
Ooh, I should text. Well, I can't text because I was going to say I was to text people with some specific questions I want them to ask you.
Hey, ask Haley this. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we are answering your burning questions. So again, if you have them, drop them in the comments below. If you're watching this after the fact, well, sorry. You can send in a question. You can email us a question.
Anytime. Or you can put it in the comments. We'll see it after the fact. You can DM us. Honestly, and we were talking about this in our client Zoom. We do a client-only Zoom on Monday mornings as well. And our whole point, you guys, is to make sure that we are providing what you guys want. And so when we are doing a deep dive from an education standpoint, when we're creating a new tool, whatever it may be, we don't want to do it to just do it. We want to do it because it's what you need and what you want and what you'll find helpful. So any feedback you give us, we are all ears. We love feedback.
Yep. Amen.
Yep. Okay, we're going to jump in.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Because we weren't on here last week, but the week before we're going to just do a really quick live, and we talked for an hour. So we're going to just make this short, sweet, and quick, guys.
Mainly because we haven't eaten yet and we're hungry.
Yeah, we are hungry.
Okay, you want
Do
me
you
to
leave
ask
your
you
computer?
First? Maybe.
You don't.
You wait and see.
Oh my gosh, you guys. First of all, I'm the one who wrote down, I relayed the questions to
I
the
have no
papers.
idea what's in here.
Yeah, so she thinks that she knows what we're talking about, but.
Okay, we're right out of the gate. I'm going to pull one, ask you, vice versa. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Can I drink alcohol if I'm doing macro Mavens?
Oh, sure. Yeah, totally, all the time. No, absolutely. If you are a Macro Mavens client and you have room in your macros and you want to make it fit within your assignment, then absolutely, you totally can. We have lots of clients who make sure that they have room for a social drink from time to time. Now, if you are drinking alcohol consistently every single day, your coach might ask you about that and might ask you to reevaluate, perhaps, maybe not. But maybe you should if you're drinking every single day. Maybe you should just evaluate that. So anyway, alcohol we track it as fat. And so there is a calculation that we use. In order to track the fat. So you take the calories, you divide that by 9 because there are 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. So we want to track all of your alcohol as fat because of how your body processes it. It stays in your system for a really long time before your liver has a chance to actually... Whoa, I just dropped all the questions. Hang on.
Okay, so while she does that, here's the deal. Yes, you can absolutely drink alcohol. Will it slow your progress? Probably. Will it affect your sleep? Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Does sleep affect your metabolism?
Yes.
Absolutely. So there's a trade-off, right? If you want to fit it in here and there, fantastic. If you choose to fit it in every day, that's totally your prerogative, but you will not have the same progress likely that you would if you were willing to start to minimize it. And there's actually a really great podcast by the Huberman Lab, specifically on the effects of alcohol to the body and brain. And I like to look at things pretty technically. And so maybe we'll share that in our stories again.
Go listen to it. Go take a listen because honestly, for one, he's got tons of great topics that he talks about, but his podcast on alcohol is like a game changer, I think, for a lot of people. I know a lot of people who watched it and are like, well, that's it. I'm just done drinking alcohol. So anyway. Okay, my turn. I get to read.
Okay. It's not fair because she knows what's in there. I'm so curious.
I gained 3 pounds last night. Help!
Okay, first of all, you're not going to gain 3 pounds of fat in one night. You're just not. You have to eat a surplus over what you've burned of roughly 30. It's a little bit different for everybody, but roughly 3,500 calories for 1 pound of fat gain. Like you just do. And so, and not everybody is just going to build that all as fat. Some of it might be muscle. So if you find yourself up on the scale, that happens to everybody. Now, could some of it be fat? Sure. It depends on what your lifestyle looks like, what choices you're making, the foods that you're eating. Are you moving your body? Are you drinking your water? Are you prioritizing sleep? Are you prioritizing stress resiliency? All of that. However, day-to-day fluctuations are completely normal. If you had a more stressful day the day before, if you had a poor night's sleep, if you had a saltier meal, if you ate later in the night, if you haven't gone poop yet, if you had a harder workout and you had those little muscle tears and your body is holding on to water, if you are having hormone fluctuations and you're having more retention, like there are so many reasons why the scale might be up on one particular day over another. And oftentimes, especially if you're doing all the things, it has nothing to do with fat. That's why we look at over a period of time. If one of your goals is fat loss, we're going to look at your overall trajectory, and we're also going to make sure you're preserving muscle. The other thing to keep in mind is if you're building muscle while you're shedding fat, you might not see as much of a shift on the scale, but you're going to see a huge shift in body composition. So we talk a lot about the scale, but don't be too alarmed. Overall loss is going to very much look like this because of all those things we mentioned.
Yeah, and the same is true for muscle gain too. If you're wanting to gain muscle, you have to be eating in a surplus, right? So oftentimes it's the Goldilocks effect. If you're losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time, then you have it figured out and dialed in, and that is magic. We call it the Goldilocks effect, right? It's really difficult to get there. However, it can be done. But if you are trying to gain muscle, you have to have something to build from. And so you have to be eating enough calories to support muscle growth, right? And so yes, you may be burning some fat, but if you are wanting to put on muscle, you need to be eating, for 1 pound of muscle, it's very similar. It's like about 3,500 calories above your maintenance in order to add 1 pound to your body. So that's a lot.
And you have to be doing resistance training to build muscle.
Yep.
So it's going to take both of those things.
Yep.
Okay, we're moving along.
Here we go.
How long do I have to track for?
Oh, for your entire life. Like once you sign up, you're locked in.
Whatever. I don't track my food anymore.
No, actually, I haven't been tracking for quite a while either. If you are a Macro Mavens client and you are being coached by one of our coaches, then we do require you to track your food for the entirety of the program. And that is really not just for your benefit, but for us to know what is coming and going. We can only be the best coaches that we can if we know exactly what you're eating. So if you are not tracking your food, or maybe you're not tracking all of your food, but you are a client, then you should be tracking all of your food, because we cannot be the best coaches we can be to those of you who are not accurately tracking your food, because we base a lot of information. It's all data for us, right? And so we need to know what is coming and what is going in order to be the best coaches for you. So if you are signed up with Macro Mavens or any other macro plan for that matter, whoever is coaching you and you're tracking your food, the idea is that you track for the entirety of the program. Our goal is, which is, I've said it 1,000 times, it's a terrible business plan, but we want to get you to a point where you are at maintenance, where you have a more flexible metabolism. Your body knows what to do with the food that you're eating. And so it burns more rapidly. You are able to live the lifestyle you want at a very comfortable calorie range. Maintenance is a range. It's not just a specific number, it's a range. And sometimes, at least for me, currently I haven't been tracking for actually several months now, but if I ever feel like, I wonder where I'm at, then I will absolutely jump back in, start tracking my food and be like, okay, I need to dial it in maybe, or maybe I've just felt like things are too loosey-goosey, or maybe my body composition is shifting in a way that I don't want, and I'll go back to tracking consistently for a while. But when you are committed to a program, you guys, you have to have a plan, right? And if that plan is nutrition and Macro Mavens or another macro plan, then yes, dialing in your nutrition and tracking your macros is very, very important. However, when you get to that maintenance point and you know what your plate should look like, you know how much protein, how many carbs, how much fat you should have on your plate at any given time, that is where we want you to be. And we want you to graduate from our program knowing how to do that for yourself for your specific goals. And then you can just fly the coop, little bird, and you can track your own macros when you want to, when you don't want to. You can live in maintenance forever. Really, we want you to live in maintenance for as long as you need to. Before you start tracking again. So yeah, it is temporary, right? Yeah. Tracking your food is temporary. It doesn't have to be hard. We want to make it easy. We want to make it an enjoyable experience. I have so many clients who are like, I love tracking my food. I love knowing what I'm eating. Yeah. And that is such a good thing. And so, yeah.
Well, and the tracking with specificity really is important, because it's what allows us to elicit shift to your BMR, to your base metabolic rate, because when you're eating a specific calorie amount and the macro breakdown that we shift over time, and we shift your calories over time, that's how we can elicit impact on your base metabolic rate, the number of calories you burn at rest. And that's part of the magic of our process.
Yep.
Okay.
Totally. Here we go.
Here we go.
You guys, we are cranking through these.
We're cranking.
Oh, this one's kind of long. I have done everything to lose weight. What makes Macro Mavens different?
Ooh, okay. That's a fantastic question.
I mean, here we are. This is what makes us different. We are so much fun, you guys.
Well, yeah, fun's part of the process. But as far as like I love that. What makes us different in how you're going to expect a different result? A couple of things. So not knowing what everything means, I would say Haley and I would say we had done everything too. And we were healthy people. We worked out. We ate pretty clean, but we couldn't get the aggressive body composition shifts that we really wanted. And we didn't even know what we were missing in terms of energy and sleep and cognitive function and all of that can come with it. And I think what makes us different, one, is if you're talking about comparing to doing things like keto and Whole30 and Atkins and whatever it is, like we'd done them all. What I think can make a huge difference is first, we're going to look at where you are individually. We could have two 150-pound females that come to us, and one might be starting at 900 calories on average that they're eating per day, and one might be starting at 1,700 calories on the average that they're eating per day. If they just went online and did an online calculator, if they're similar in weight, if they're the same gender, if they're similar in activity level, they're going to get the same macro calculation, and that is not going to work for both of those people. So we're going to first see, on average, what are you consuming? How many calories are you consuming on average? What does your natural macro breakdown look like? Where are you at? What are your goals? What's your activity level? Are you on any medications? Are you still menstruating if you're a female? All of those things. We're going to look at all of those data pieces, and we're going to say, this is your starting point. From there, what I think is different than what even other macro coaches do oftentimes is we are going to take you through what we call a reverse process. So we're going to first really try to impact your base metabolic rate, which we talked about a minute ago. We are going to have your body burning more calories at rest and slowly shifting that over time. So shifting your calories and then shifting your macros. Like most people come to us, not everybody, but most people come to us under eating protein. And so if we took you, if you're 150 pounds and you're only eating 75 grams of protein, we're not going to try to take you up to 150 grams of protein overnight. We're going to need to slow roll that. So all those things are taken into account. And so you're working with a coach that's really looking at all of those factors, seeing what your data is doing week over week and modifying that week over week and taking you through what we call a reverse process to first really work with your metabolism. Then and only then taking you through, not everybody needs this, but taking you through a temporary deficit for more aggressive fat loss, but then climbing you back up. So like Haley mentioned before, you end in this beautiful place, and we might need to go through that process multiple times, but you end in this beautiful place where you have a more flexible metabolism, you have a leaner body mass, if that is one of your goals. If your goal isn't that, then we're going to do an entirely different process. You have a higher caloric intake, and you really understand what you're doing in the process so that you can maintain that, and it's sustainable because you have more calories to play with, you have a more flexible metabolism, and you really understand your food. I think the other thing that makes us a lot different that I haven't seen a lot in the nutrition world is the entire wellness pillar component. Like, yes, we are first and foremost a nutrition coach company. We really want to dial in your nutrition. We feel like it makes the biggest difference in the world.
Hold on 1 second. Asomatics, you are supposed to be in class right now. What are you doing? Go to school, kid.
Okay. So the other part for us is that it is so important to us.
Hold on a second. Okay. My son is hijacking the live because he asked me a question. I don't know how to answer it. I need you to make your own decision on this one. Okay, you guys, this is what happened. My son texted me and he said,
Asa, you are on here and you are getting called out, buddy.
He asked if he could skip a class because he hasn't eaten in 18 hours. His mom is a nutrition coach, right? So my response to that is, son, you should have eaten breakfast before you left the house for school today. I need you to make your own best decision here. Maybe you should text your girlfriend and ask her to bring you food.
And then moving forward in the car, you should make sure you have some jerky
Have some
sticks,
snacks, yeah.
maybe some Simple Mills crackers, some almond flour crackers.
Fairlife if you have to. I mean, you got this. You can do it. I love you.
You're so capable, Asa.
Have a great day.
Okay, you guys, the other thing that I feel like really sets us apart is that we really want our clients not only to get the physical changes that they want in terms of their body composition and all of that, but we really want them to make small habitual changes over the time that we work with them in our pillars of wellness, things like stress resiliency, deep and restorative sleep, understanding the importance of movement and hydration, and the role of inflammation in our bodies. Because if we can learn a lot of those small things along the way and start to make habit changes, it leads to a beautiful future, more longevity, more optimal health. And like, that's when we're really winning. Because yes, we love it when our clients meet their goals of whether it be like weight loss or muscle gain or shift in body composition, but we love it just as much, if not more, when their libido is increasing, they're in hormone harmony instead of a hormone hurricane, they are sleeping better, they have better tools to respond to stress or to eliminate some of their stressors. Like, those are just as important to us. And so I think it's the whole package of looking at all of it. Oh, I love this. We just got a comment that says this really works and the feeling is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, and we really, you guys, honestly, I know a lot of people sign up for a macro program because you want to change the way you look. We fully understand that oftentimes that is the motivation, but our heart is truly to start changing you from the inside to where you feel good. Yeah. When you feel good, you naturally look good. Yeah. And so we want you to feel good, we want you to look good, and then we want you to turn around and do good for others. So anyway, that is our motto: feel good, look good, do good. And we want all of our clients to fall into that category of feeling good, because honestly, when you feel good, then totally the whole world is shinier.
Yeah. I haven't mentioned it this time, but if you guys wonder why we're looking back and forth and you're new to this, we have Instagram over here and Facebook over here. So I apologize.
It's like a tennis match. My daughter plays tennis, and so this is what I'm used to right now. Anyway, it is one of our goals for one of my personal goals for 2023 is to get this dialed in.
Okay.
So we'll get there.
What does active recovery look like?
Oh, that's a great question. Active recovery can look
like you didn't know it was in there.
Oh, that's a great, you're right. You're right. I did take questions that have been asked and I wrote them down and put them in the hat. Yeah. So yes, that wasn't a surprise. But that is a great question regardless. Active recovery looks different for everybody. Yeah. I think that it just depends on what you like. Active recovery for me means a few different things. For me, it means fun. It means something I look forward to. I exercise every day, Monday through Friday. Rarely do I miss a day unless like something comes up. Yes, then if I'm feeling sick, if I need sleep or something like that, then I will absolutely let myself rest. But an active recovery day is usually a Saturday or Sunday for me. And that looks like going out on a hike with my family or my husband, or going for a bike ride, or just getting out in nature. It's not necessarily going to the gym and doing a workout that is pre-planned, or I do Orange Theory twice a week, or going to an Orange Theory workout. Now, sometimes it might look like that. And it might look a little bit different. It might be going to the gym and really being mindful of my movement and doing things differently, not necessarily pushing my body as hard as I can, but like just moving my body. It might be a yoga class. It might be sitting down for some really focused breath work. It's not laying on the couch eating chips and watching TV. That is not active recovery as far as I'm concerned. But it could be going and sitting in a sauna and then a cold plunge. I mean, it can look different for everybody. Honestly, it could be sitting down and reading a book that you've been putting off for a long time. Could be getting a massage. Anything like that is propelling you forward into being a better human is active recovery. Moving your body in a way that feels good. Stretching, mobility, walking, hiking, jogging, biking. Whatever that looks like for you, that is active recovery in my book.
It's huge. Okay, before we go into the next question, I want to address this. Mrs. Jess John over here on the Instagram side said, I have tried tracking what I eat in the past, and it was so stressful. It surely can be. So I just want to share a couple things on that. One, when we first have our clients track, I think what a lot of people find, because we have that without us giving them an assignment first, we want them to just track everything with any caloric value, food or beverage that they eat for 5 to 7 days, so that we can really see on average what they're eating. And most of the time, I know it was for me years ago when I first tracked, And I was always one of those people who's like, I'll never track my food. Like, I just won't. But
Same.
it's really
Isn't that
telling.
funny? That's same.
I know.
I remember being like, oh, why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And here we are.
And for a season, though, like, it can be really telling because I know for me, I thought I knew. I thought I'd be like predominantly protein, some healthy carbs, and moderate fat. I was eating so much fat. Now, healthy fats are really good for you. You need them for your brain. You need them for hormone production, all of that. But my largest percentage of my calorie intake was fat because I was eating so many nuts and a lot of butter and coconut oil and avocado oil. And I still eat those things, but I eat them at a different ratio. And it's, knowledge is power. So knowing what you're eating can be really, really powerful. And so just that alone is good information to have. But then the other part of the stress comes in and just to getting into a rhythm. So if you have a coach in your corner that can give you some really easy tools and you pre-track, especially when you're first starting, if you're trying to hit an assignment, that's where you go in the night before or the morning of, and you just track, like, on average, this is what I like to eat for breakfast, and you put it in. This is what I know we're going to have for family dinner, so you put it in. And then you work backwards and like, okay, I'm going to fill this in for lunch so that I can hit my numbers. And there's a lot of tools along the way that your coach can help you with to make it less stressful. I have a lot of people that do start out of the gate, and they're like, gosh, this just feels like a lot. But then in time, they're like, I love knowing what I need on hand, what I'm going to eat, having a plan, and it can be really freeing.
Yeah.
And it does. It can take a little time for some people. For others, they just hit it right out of the gate. But the specificity in that tracking season is really where the magic happens. And so there's a lot of tools that can make it easier for you.
Also, without knowing like your situation, like if you were using like an online calculator that was telling you like, this is what you should eat. And so then I could see where that could be really stressful. We try to make the jump to tracking the food based on your assignment as simple as possible. Yeah. And honestly, like having a coach backing you and on your side and able to answer questions, I think makes it so much easier than just trying to go it alone. I think that if I were to have tried it on my own in the very beginning, I would have thrown in the towel. But having a coach who's like, hey, have you tried this? And this is a great way to get in more protein. And, I have a lot of clients who love to do X, Y, and Z, that alone can make it so much easier. And also being part of a community, which if we get to it, there's a question in here about that, being part of a community of people who are like-minded and who are on the same journey as you makes it feel much easier.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All that said, let's see what question comes up next. Can I be a Macro Mavens client if I have autoimmune issues?
Oh, absolutely. I'll keep this one short and sweet. We work with a lot of clients with a variety of autoimmune issues. Specifically, thank you both.
Welcome.
That makes me feel, for sure. Specifically, we have a lot of Hashimoto's clients.
So many.
We have, kind of honestly, all over the board. Here's the thing. You might find, depending on which autoimmune diagnosis you have, you might find that you are a little bit slower to respond. However, if you're open to it, one of the things we're probably going to work with you on is reducing inflammatory foods, because inflammation, low-grade inflammation in the body can have a huge impact on your ability to shed fat, even more so when you have some form of autoimmune. Not to mention you're going to feel so much better, especially like our RA clients that we work with. And so
rheumatoid arthritis.
Yes. And so if
she speaks in
clinical terms.
Yeah, sometimes.
And so if you do have an autoimmune, or anything for that matter, we always offer a free consult. So if you want to talk to us, and we want to make sure that you're a good fit. Like, we have had some clients or some interested people that have come and said, like, these are the things, and you might not be a good fit. Like, if you are uncontrolled diabetic, we're going to want you to get controlled with your healthcare provider before we really partner with you. Yep. So we'll be honest with you, because we want it to be a good fit for you and a good fit for us. But you can go over to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button, fill out a form. It does not commit you to anything, but it does allow a coach to reach out, connect, see if we're a good fit, and if we are, we'll get you started.
Yep. And if we're not, then hopefully we'll be able to send you somewhere where you can get the answers you're looking for.
Absolutely. Okay. Can I eat out if I'm tracking macros?
Oh, yeah. We eat out all the time.
I eat out a lot.
Wait, we also just said that we're currently not tracking.
I know.
No.
But even when I was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can totally track when you're eating out. It might take a little bit of effort on the front end. And what I mean by that is, if you know if you are on a macro plan and you have plans to go out to dinner if you look ahead, if you plan ahead, which you should be doing, right? You should be pre-tracking your meal so that you know, like, okay, I'm eating this for breakfast, I'm eating this for dinner, or this for lunch, and then I'm going out to dinner. Now, most places will have an online menu, or if you've been there before, you might already know what you're going to eat. And then what I tell my clients is, it is better to make an educated guess as to what you are going to eat than to not track anything. So let's say I'm going out to dinner and I need to eat 40 grams of protein. Well, I know, because I've been a Macro Mavens client for a long time, or whatever, whoever you are, so-and-so's client for a long time, I know what 40 grams of protein looks like. I need to make sure that I order enough steak or enough fish or enough chicken or whatever, enough tofu in order to get the protein that you need in. And so think ahead, you guys. Think about what are good ways to do that. You can order a salad and get extra protein on the salad, or you can please don't be afraid to order double meat.
Yeah,
Constantly.
I do it all the
I'm
time.
constantly going to restaurants and I'm like, hey, can I get this? But can I get it with double protein? And nobody has ever one time been like, yeah, we don't do that.
They'll charge you for it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll pay for extra chicken or whatever it is. So yes, you absolutely can eat out. We eat out frequently and make it work. And
we have a whole segment called Menu with the Mavens, where we eat out and then we share the macros.
In fact, maybe we'll go out on Thursday. If you guys want to come along, you can check out our highlights and our stories and see where we eat and see how we do it and see how we track it. The main thing is that you make a best educated guess as far as like how much you're eating of each individual thing, and you track that. Yes, it may not be perfect, and that's okay. As long as you are close, that's better than not tracking anything at all.
I also have favorites at a lot of restaurants, and so I just take the time to track it pretty specifically one time, and I keep it in my meals so that when I go back, I just have to check it, and it just preloads it in there for me. Makes it really easy. Yeah. Okay, we're going to speed up because we are not going as fast as I thought we might. I'm real hungry.
Weird. I track my macros in my Fitness Pal currently, but I'm not seeing results. Help.
Okay, so, we lost.
Nope, we're back.
Okay, so real quick, is there benefit to using an online calculator? Yeah, I think that anything that you do consistently for a period of time, you're probably going to yield some results. However, if you're just going online, whether it be MyFitnessPal, which does have an online calculator, or one of the other free online calculators online, it's probably just going to ask you your activity level, your gender, your height, your weight, your goal, all of those things. And it's going to just use a formula to give you an assignment. It's not taking into account your bio individuality. If you, for instance, are a chronic undereater, which a lot of people are, they'll eat pretty low calories during the week and maybe more during the weekend. So their metabolism has down-regulated because it's a little bit in survival mode, but it's calculating it off of what you should be for your BMR. It might jump you in calories significantly enough out of the gate that you are actually going to gain weight versus lose weight. And so if you have been using an online calculator and you're not seeing traction, I really suggest, and you're interested in macros and the magic that can happen with tracking macros, it's not just the tracking, honestly, it's the process. It's the process of eliciting a shift to your base metabolic rate and to your metabolism. And that does not happen with a stagnant assignment. That happens with changing week over week and or every other week, or however that looks for the individual, to really elicit the change that they need. So yes, you can have some success with an online calculator, but it will likely be short term, or you will plateau if you are not shifting things, and it's not going to do that for you. And it's also not going to understand all the other pieces that are specific to you, your hormones, your bioindividuality, your sleep, any medication you're on, all of those pieces that a coach can.
Yeah. And also, you know what? Our bodies are really sophisticated, you guys. And so even if it does give you an assignment and you track it very specifically and you are losing weight, that will only last so long because of the way our bodies adapt. Our metabolism is so smart. If you're only giving it 1,200 calories, it's going to adapt. It's going to regulate itself to those 1,200 calories over time. So eventually you'll have to eat even less in order to continue to lose weight. So yeah, it absolutely makes sense to me that I've been tracking for a long time at the same assignment and nothing is happening. Maybe you had success in the beginning. Maybe you didn't. but you will absolutely plateau out. And that is true in all things.
Yeah.
With any coach, with any assignment, if you just stay stagnant in one assignment, you absolutely will plateau at some point because your body will adjust to it. That's what our bodies were created to do and made to do.
Yeah.
And which is actually pretty incredible.
It is.
Pretty incredible.
And we anticipate that in maintenance. That's
Yeah.
why we really want to work you through that reverse where we're really eliciting the change to your BMR, taking you through a temporary deficit if one of your goals is fat loss and body recomp, and then climbing you back up so that you end in that higher caloric intake with the leaner body mass with more flexibility. And that's where your maintenance is maintaining, right? You probably won't have a lot of dips or a lot of increases in that period, although you can make progress in maintenance.
Absolutely.
But that's because your body is going to be used to that window, right? Because it's going to adapt to that. And adaptation we want, but we want it in the right direction.
Yep.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Do I have to exercise to see results?
Oh, that is another great question I wrote. So first and foremost, nutrition is foundational. And so I have actually several clients who do not have an exercise practice and they are wildly successful.
Yeah.
Now, that said, we will absolutely encourage every single one of our clients to move your body. It's one of our 5 pillars of health is movement, you guys. Nutrition is foundational. Our job is to get your nutrition dialed in first and to get you feeling as good as you possibly can. And then if you are the kind of person who wants to add in movement to your everyday life, which we absolutely think you should, then we would love to support you in that. And so do you have to have an exercise routine when you come to us? No.
In fact, if you don't, we're probably not going to encourage that you start right away because if you try to do too much at the same time, like we want to dial in your nutrition first. It's like 80% plus nutrition. And the rest is going to be movement. And you cannot exercise your way out of a bad form.
Yeah. And honestly, like in the world that we live in, it's in fact, I see it constantly, right? And we've all been in this place where you're like, oh my gosh, I just need to make a change. I'm going to join a gym and I'm going to start exercising. But nothing happens to our bodies. Our bodies don't change, right?
They might
for a very short season, or maybe you're getting the newbie gains, which are amazing. But honestly, like I was a chronic exerciser day in and day out for years and years and years. And it wasn't until I adjusted my nutrition that my body actually changed. And so nutrition,
Huge.
and yes, movement.
Yes.
Okay, next.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, this is a fun one.
Okay. Once again, I don't know what these questions are.
What is a guilty pleasure that you guys enjoy?
Oh, okay. I have a lot.
Some are not guilty pleasures.
Yeah, some are not. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a guilty pleasure, but I eat chocolate virtually every day, and I fit it in. And I do like dark chocolate. I like dark chocolate with almonds and salt, honestly. And if there's things that you like you just fit it in. And so I just make sure that so I'm not a big TV watcher per se, but I will say there are some like more probably shows that are geared more towards teens.
Well, absolutely geared towards teens. Like my kids are like, Mom, the show is amazing. I'm like, oh, Emmy loves that show.
Yeah, like that I would say, like if I can find the space for it, like when I'm working on stuff around the house or like whatever it is, if my kids are occupied, that like I will watch an episode here or there. Like that would be like Outer Banks, like those type of shows.
Yeah.
That's a guilty. Is that what you were thinking of when I said that?
Yeah. Well, yes, I was absolutely thinking Outer Banks because both of my kids I have 2 teenagers and they both are.
The newest season's not that great.
I'm only like 3 episodes into season 1 and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's not really grabbing me.
Okay. Well.
But anyway.
What's one for you?
A guilty pleasure. Well, I
know what one is.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to say the one you're thinking of, but maybe
ahead.
you could say it for me. I, too, allow myself dark chocolate, but currently, in my current season of guilty pleasures, you guys, it's Girl Scout cookie season, and cookies just make my heart so happy. I love cookies.
I guarantee Scout's going to hear that and go start baking you cookies.
And so I keep Thin Mints and Samoas in my freezer. And I hide them from my kids. Only my kids now know my hiding places, so it's hard to hide them. Yeah. And they know we have them, so they ask. But I allow myself not a Junior Mint, but a Thin Mint every single day right now, or a Samoa. And it just, honestly, I can savor it for like several minutes, and it makes my heart sing.
Can I tell them what your other one of them?
I suppose.
Selling Sunset.
Oh, well, I finished. I came on. Yes, the TV show Selling Sunset. I did quite enjoy that one, actually. I binge watched that when my husband was out of town. I'd like turn on, I have a TV in our kitchen, and so I would turn it on like while I was cooking.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that like was an absolute guilty pleasure. And she texted me and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I should be working, but I'm watching Selling Sunset."
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I build muscle?
Oh, that's a great, well, building muscle is one of my favorite things because honestly, she just told me to keep it short. Do you know which one of us is the one who needs to keep it short?
Sorry.
Anyway, building muscle. You have to pick up heavy things and set them down. So if you go to the gym and you are working your muscle, that is fantastic. Work your muscles all day long, but you're not going to build your muscle unless you are taking that muscle to fatigue. So you want bigger biceps. You can lift 5 pound.
So smart, buddy.
Oh, yeah. See, here's the muscle, 5 pounds muscle. It matches your shirt. Anyway, if you want to build, yeah, if you want to build muscle, let's say you want to build your biceps and you're picking up 5 pound dumbbells and you can do 100 bicep curls without feeling anything. Is that beneficial? Maybe a little bit. You're working your muscle. However, you are not taking that muscle to fatigue. You need to take your muscle to fatigue to break down the muscle fibers. They're tightly woven little fibers, and you need to break them down, give them little tears in order for your body to repair the tears and make the muscle bigger. That's how you gain muscle. You also cannot gain muscle if you are in a calorie deficit. Yeah. Please hear me on that. If you are in a calorie deficit, you probably are not building muscle. You need to have the foundation in order to build the house, right? You need to have the tools. If you don't have the tools to build a house, you can't build a house. If you don't have the tools to build a body, you can't build a body. You need to be eating enough protein, carbs, and fat in order to support your body's muscle building capabilities. And that is absolutely essential. So if you're not eating enough protein, you're not preserving muscle, you're not building muscle. If you're not lifting weights, then you are not building muscle. And those things need to happen together in order to build muscle.
Amen.
Okay, next.
Nothing to add.
Good. Wow, she had nothing to add. What are macros?
Ooh. Okay, so macros are just food
Make it quick. I'm
macros
hungry.
Are just food broken down into finer forms. So we're going to focus on the top 3, which is going to be protein, carbohydrates, and fats. So they all have a really important role. I'm going to keep this really quick, but proteins are going to be primarily important for muscle preservation, cognitive health. It's the most thermogenic of the macronutrients, meaning that your body burns more calories to break it down. Carbohydrates, preferably complex carbohydrates, are really going to be a good source of your energy. And they're going to be really important for things like thyroid health. And when we look at whole complex carbohydrates, we're looking at things like vegetables and whole fruits. Of course, there's other forms of carbohydrates that you can put in there. Fats are going to be really important for your cognition. They're going to be really important for your ability to absorb vitamins. They're going to be really important for your ability to have natural hormone regulation. And when we're looking at healthy fats, that's going to be things like nuts and grass-fed butter and avocados and olive oil and coconut oil, and really looking at the type of fats that are going to help support your body. So water is also another macronutrient. And of course, hydration is super important, but it really is just your calories broken down into finer form, understanding what your body needs, what you need for your goals, and making sure that you have adequate amount of each for what your goals are, and not demonizing anyone.
Amen.
Okay.
I'm not going to add anything to that.
Whoa. How many calories does it take to gain, lose a pound?
Oh, we already talked about that. Done.
500. Ask you another one. Roughly. Changes for everybody. Do I have to give up my favorite foods?
Oh, no. We've kind of talked about this too. Like, we make room for the things that we love. That's one of the best things about being on a macro plan and what makes it the most sustainable. If you are on some kind of a diet or some kind of a nutrition plan where you cannot enjoy the foods that you love, then it is time to change course, my friend. Yeah. Because if you are not enjoying your foods, it is not going to be sustainable long term. And that's what we want. We want long-term sustainable change, right? So if you have to eat foods you don't like, if you have to force feed yourself, if you have to eliminate foods that you absolutely love that bring you joy, like Girl Scout cookies, it's time to rethink things, you guys. We want this to be sustainable. Yeah. So yes, sometimes we have to get creative. Sometimes sometimes we have to eliminate some of those things for a very short season while we're getting to our goals. But then you should have the ability to add those things back in at the right time in order to make your life as good as it can be in the right form. And that may look different for every person, right? Yeah. And so sometimes if your coach takes you through a cut and your assignment does not allow you to have a bowl of ice cream every night, then maybe you have to give that up for a season. Hopefully the plan is to get you back up to maintenance where you do have a more flexible metabolism and you can enjoy those things periodically.
And I think periodically is the key word, because you can enjoy those things, but we're also going to teach you about the role of inflammation in the body and what foods primarily contribute to inflammation, and then you can make your own decisions if you want to start minimizing or eliminating some of those.
Yep.
Okay.
Should I take creatine?
Oh, okay. So that's a great question. I think it really depends on your goals. Creatine has a ton of benefits for both men and women. My husband has been using creatine for quite some time. He actually we did a little story recently. He has this concoction that he's really enjoying, which is his collagen, his creatine, and his electrolyte all mixed together. He uses the Thorne creatine. I personally have never used creatine. I don't necessarily think that I will. I don't feel like I need it in this season of life for my goals, but it can be fantastic for both men and women if you are looking to try to build and preserve muscle, and it has a lot of cognitive benefits. So if you, there's a lot of research on it, and I would suggest that you look it up and read it, but we also get asked what we do suggest as far as creatine, and I've done a pretty big deep dive in the past on different creatines, and I do like the Thorne creatine, which you can find. We have a little link on the shop page of our website if that's helpful for you. So macromavens.life.
Creatine is one of the supplements that has been studied the most and is one of the most utilized supplements, you guys. I take it every single day, and I have for several months, and I have not noticed any adverse effects from it at all. I actually really love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, how much does MM cost?
Oh, well, you guys, we're having a special currently. If you sign up, this is our special this week, you guys. It's our 2-year anniversary, for one. Happy anniversary to us. And this week's special is if you sign up for any one of our programs, 3, 6, or 12 months, then you get a free month of MM Fit. Just throwing that out there for you guys.
Our custom workout program.
Yes. But typically our program we have 3 different levels of commitment time. 3-month commitment is $175 a month. 6-month commitment is $150 a month. And our 12-month commitment is $125 a month.
Such a smoking deal.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I don't know if you can find a program as comprehensive as ours for the price.
I kind of bet you can't.
I actually know several different coaches who offer much less than what we offer for a much higher price. So you don't always get what you're paying for. And so do your research. What do you want?
Make it affordable for people.
It's my question.
Sorry.
Sorry. What do you want out of a program? Yeah. Do you want a community of people who are like-minded, who support you? We give you that. Do you want a coach who is on your side, who is telling you the things that you need to hear, who is giving you the things that you want, who is supporting you in all of the ways that you need? We have that.
And educated.
Yes, we have that in Macro Mavens. Do you want to reach your goals? Do you want, cheerleaders? Do you want education? We educate our clients, you guys, beyond belief. We have weekly client-only Zooms. You can message your coach one-on-one. You can message any of us. Yeah. The community that we have created with Macro Mavens is out of this world.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
Really incredible.
Yeah.
And so I honestly don't think that there's a program out there that gives you as much as we do for the price.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're going to end there. I'm really hungry.
There's one more. There's one more.
Is there one you really want to ask?
Yeah. Well, that one we already kind of answered.
Okay.
But this one, what are you looking forward to right now in your life?
Oh gosh, I'm looking forward to lunch. I'm so excited to eat. My family, we leave Friday. We are doing a really fun motorhome trip. We're gonna go through Utah. I think we're gonna ski at either Deer Valley or Park City, and then we're heading over to eastern Utah, and we're gonna do Moab and Canyonlands, and we're gonna mountain bike and hike and all the things. And I'm just really looking forward to that time. I'm also I'm looking forward to just connection and adventure and simplicity in some ways. And there's just a ton of opportunity on the horizon right now, and I'm really excited to tackle it. And I I don't know. I'm really focusing on the goodness, and I'm really thankful for it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm similar. I'm looking forward to spring break for sure. I'm also very much looking forward to getting in my car because Emmy's son, Scout, has just spent like the last hour since before we started this live washing my car inside and out. And that brings me a lot of joy. And so I'm really excited about that. But I'm so excited about spring break. I'm really excited about getting away from my home and all of the stress and burdens that you feel when you're at home, and really getting away with my family and focusing on some really sweet family time. I'm really, really, really excited about that.
I love
There's
that.
a lot of goodness to come, you guys.
Oh, Moab is the best. Hiking arches. I'm so excited.
Moab, honestly, Moab is
This will
one of
be our
my
first time there.
It's one of my favorite places on the planet. All the time when we try to go to national parks, I'm like, let's go to Utah because Moab is really special. You'll see.
Zion is that way for me, and I'm hoping it can like maybe even top
Similar but different.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. Well, if you guys are interested in connecting with one of our coaches and seeing if we're a good fit for you, you can go to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button. Once again, it does not commit you to anything. We also have a ton of tools on the toolbox of our website that are there for you. We're here to answer your questions. We love the participation. Thank you guys so much for joining in and for the questions and the engagement today. We love it. Also, as Haley mentioned, we have a new special every week this month. Right now, our special goes through Thursday. We have a killer giveaway over on Instagram. So if you want to go over there and tag your friends, share the post, it enters you into that. And if you sign up right now for 3, 6, or 12 months, you get a free month of our MFit program, which is an amazing deal. So,
like for real.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, we don't know if we'll be back next week. We probably won't because we're going to be on vacation.
And stories.
Yeah, we'll answer questions and stories.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Okay.
She's real good
Making
at that.
decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, bye
Have a good
guys.
one, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.